Hi guys, this is Ben from Ben's RPG Pile, and this is part 2 of how to make an entrance to a D&D pyramid. So last time I showed you guys basically the main floor of the pyramid entrance, and that's where Garrick the Etten was hanging out and throwing boulders and crushing skulls and all that good stuff. And there's a component to this first part of the module that I've created, a little homebrew as it were, and this is, I've decided to make an underground layer for those carrion crawlers that the group battles. Now in the module it says, hey, those bodies in the middle of the room there, well those will move and shift, and at some point a carrion crawler is going to burst out of there and start attacking the party. Nothing wrong with that, I get it, but I decided that throughout the Pyramid of Shadows I wanted to do a two-tier approach, meaning I was going to have plenty of sections in the pyramid that were going to be just as the module had intended, but I wanted to also include an underground layer. And that's really just when I say layer I mean piece, where there would just be certain pockets within the pyramid that were going to be cavernous and unexplored, and you could interact with the underground and the main level of the pyramid at different times. And I wouldn't do this all the time, but I would do it enough where, you know, it would just be fun to do it that way and have that option, I guess, in creativity. And so I kind of showed you the pyramid, but now I'm going to show you what happens if somebody falls through those bodies. And there's nothing crazy here, but it is just a different way to approach it, and I think you guys will enjoy it. But there's something lurking under here, fellas, and it needs the proper 3D game board environment, and it shouldn't just be kind of happenstance. Those carrion crawlers, they work hard. They're renters here, so they need their own place. And I'm going to show you what that cavern looks like and how we built it, and I think you'll get a big kick out of it. So everything in a cavern really starts with its floors. It's the foundation of a room, and I'm going to show you several things that I made here, but if you just want to save yourself some time and go buy the very best Dwarven Forge cavern line, outstanding, guys. Just ridiculous. I own several sets. I combine them with the stuff I make, plus because I just like to make stuff and I just like to have tons of options on the gaming table, but holy moly, Dwarven Forge cavern, best you're going to find out there. Okay, so let's show you how we make some though. So you start with your Herstart's cavern mold, and you get that. You quickly can fill that with DAP filler like this so that it's easy to flock in between those areas, and then you're going to come out with something like this. Oh my. So see, there's a sanded floor. I got this idea from somebody at Gen Con table, but that looks pretty great, huh? Nice and natural, easy to play on, all that sort of stuff. You can slip some water effect in there, but pretty neat. So you start with those floors, and then you can come up with, here's another great spin-off of that sand. See, all sorts of different configurations with the stones. But then you can come up with stuff like this, where these are called mud hives. And this little thing I made where I'm going to have stuff that's been kind of burrowing under the ground, and it's going to pop up and attack the creatures. But I needed to make a little piece that would kind of show that burrow effect. So I got a nice tutorial on this. But floors are very important. Now once you have a good floor, you need a wall. And I want deep walls here because they're going deep underground. And so you can take this silly little pink insulation foam and you can do some pretty crazy things, as the guys on Mini Wargaming have showed us in some great tutorials. But so basically what you do is you just take your pink foam and cut it down with a hot wire cutter, and then you put on a paper mache style toilet paper, which is 50% water, 50% glue. And pretty, kind of looks like that, and you're like, uh-oh, maybe this is not going to turn out that great. But oh, do not give up hope, because you can end up with something like that. Now that looks like a pretty undisturbed wall with some real height to it, and I made all sorts of fun pieces. What's really great about the pink foam terrain is that just those roots of the earth kind of thing, and you just flock that really nice, and you get yourself some great walls. So our cavern room is going to need plenty of bad guys in it, and thankfully there's all sorts of miniatures that you have to choose from here. Our biggest baddie in this particular encounter is a carrion crawler. That's the classic Dragon Eye Wizards of the Coast miniature. This is a rebased Arkham Horror worm kind of thing, kind of the mama and the papa bear. So there's one choice. My terrain hives that we talked about, those terrain mud hives, well, there can be all sorts of, you step in the wrong spot and you're going to get snakes and bugs. There's our snakes right there, right? Spiders, bigger spiders, rats, tube worms. You need to go with elementals. Right, there's oh my gosh, the Pathfinder battle elementals there. Can have stuff come up from this sand. There's a rebased Mage Knight Sandstorm Sentry, one of my all-time favorites. Oh, I love that miniature. There's some slime. It's another Mage Knight kind of guy. A little twig blight to go in there. Maybe some black vines coming from these terrain walls. Certainly that's a choice. How about an oversized ant? Can't really seem to go wrong there. Scorpion, small rat, rock elemental. I mean, the list goes on and on. So there's plenty to pick from there for monsters. So now that you got your floor, you got your cool walls, your biggest, baddest monsters are going to need like their little lair or their little nest. And so if you want them to do like a cool outcropping, you can make one of these guys. And again, this is just pink foam, using that paper mache effect, and then just taking old Mage Knight pieces and kind of like half burying them. Her starts accessories. But that definitely looks like something a carrion crawler might make to kind of tuck away their dinner and all that good stuff. So just takes a little patience and that's just rock from my backyard, and these are just some really nice flock that I found, little leaf scatter flock. I got my little blood spatters right there, little moss there. But see, now that is going to be part of the room, and that's going to show hey, that we're not alone in here. Somebody's down here gathering food. So there's our carrion crawler nest. So now here's the underground cavern as a whole. Here are all the pieces that we made and I showed you, and how they all kind of come together and kind of give us the feel, the theme that we were looking for. So on their own, they're okay pieces. They have some nice features and they're good eye candy. But if you're creating terrain and the theme, and you keep that in the back of your head that, hey, this piece needs to complement this piece, needs to complement this piece, you really can have greater success. And so the pink foam in the back, that is definitely conveying the fact that the group has fallen pretty deep and they're in a very undisturbed natural area. The nest that the carrion crawler has up there, same thing. Doesn't look easy to get up there. Definitely you can see that the crawlers have found victims, dragged them back to this spot, chewed them up, eaten them up, that kind of thing. But it takes it takes special flock and a grade floor with that nice sand in between it, different color stalagmite kind of things there. Those add to it. You get your little natural rubble. You get a little water effect going in there, interspersed. So really comes together nicely, and I'm quite happy with what I got here. I'm not sure if I'm sold on this layout. I'm still kind of tinkering with that, but it'll be pretty close to this. And remember, the group, what I'm shooting for here is that some of the group is going to fall down into this, and it's going to be very dark, and they're going to have to scramble to figure out what's going on. And there's going to be a lot of mystery here, so there's some nervous tension that's going to hit. And I think this room conveys that pretty well. So there's an underground cavern, and I hope to use spin-offs of this in different parts of Pyramid of Shadows.
Brooklyn, Jersey, Harlem. Check the symphony. Every time I make a run, girl, you turn around and cry. I ask myself why, oh why. See, you must understand, can't work a 9 to 5, so I'll be gone till November. Say me, Michelle, my dear. Yo, I be standing on the block selling rock where the spot get hot. Guaranteed to get set up by a crooked cop on Flatbush. Michelle, my dear. Me and John Forte, my man Proswell, guaranteed to make another meal. I got it made. Last word from the hustler. Hey yo son, take care of your mother. Looked at him and replied, Dad, where you going? He said to Baltimore, he'll be back in the morning. Gave my mama a hug, I felt her soul when she cried. Every man want heaven, no man want die. This is how we do it, the symphony crew, representing a crew that they call a fool. Every time I make her run, girl, you turn around and cry. I ask myself why, oh why. See, you must understand, I can't work a 9 to 5, so I'll be gone till November. Say me, my dear. Yo, I'll be gone till November. Standing on the block where the spot get hot. Guaranteed to get set up by a crooked cop. Michelle, my dear, I know it's wrong. I wrote this rap song. Forgive me if I'm gone. Me and the refugees, yeah. Yo, I had to flip nothing, turning into something. Hip-hop turns to the future rock. When I smash a pumpkin, commit treason, then I have the reason to hunt you down. It's only right, it's rabbit season, yeah. You with the loud voice, posing like you top choice, your moist. I make a hearse out of your Rolls Royce. Besides, I got my girl to remember, and I committed that I'll be back in November. Come on. Every time I make a run, girl, you turn around and cry. I ask myself why, oh why. See, you must understand, can't work a 9 to 5, so I'll be gone till November. Say me, my dear. Yo, I'll be gone till November. Standing on the block where the spot get hot. Guaranteed to get set up by a crooked cop. Michelle, my dear. From Queensbridge back to Manhattan, up in Shaolin, this is how we do. Yo, check it out on a Chris Rock show. Check out the symphony.